Fata Morgana.
According to Wikipedia, a Fata Morgana is a complex form of superior mirage that is seen in a narrow band right above the horizon.
That is what we are told about this illusion that we see. And what I've done is I've taken a mirror and I've laid it flat. And of course, you see that it's not perfectly flat, just like our water. Um, we have waves and swells out on the water that can cause these optical illusions. And that is what this observation is about. Um, and I had an opportunity to look back through some of my files and find something very, very, very similar to what I'm showing here with my mirror. Now, of course, this mirror is only like 7 feet long, 8 feet long. Um, I made it out of a piece of plexiglass and some mirror window tint. But you know, you check this out and you got to say to yourself, what is actually the real boat? Now, if you add in some lensing effects, magnification on the lower half, and just say you put a optical block in front of the real object that my hand is on right now, what could possibly happen? And this is what I want to show in this footage right here. Very strange indeed. But what I want you to do is pay attention to the size of the boat at the bottom image. You pay attention to that, and then you pay attention to the one at the top, and you'll see some fascinating things. Now, I'm not going to talk all the way through this. I do got a little bit of audio I'm going to add because I really want you to pay attention to the details in this. And again, I wanted to get this out before YouTube puts the big hammer on us all. And if you notice that little band out there on the horizon, also notice how the sky and the sun is being filtered out through all the clouds. And this does cause this layer, but is this a layer due to atmospheric conditions, or is this a layer due to the swells and rolls of the water? Of course, you obviously see it isn't really that rough out there on the water, but again, you also have these calm spots and rough spots where the wind is blowing across, maybe in some areas a little more than others, which causes these layers to appear. But again, I'm all about observations. That's what my channel is. If you're really interested in learning, you'll watch this all the way through. And maybe this will give you a different insight or a different outlook on, you know, this Fata Morgana optical illusion, or is it something that we're being fooled by? Because we really don't get a really good full explanation of it by science. So this is my version of my explanation. But again, I'm going to leave it up to you as the viewer to be the judge for yourself. Thanks. Okay, again, I want you to pay attention to the size of that boat at the bottom now that I did zoom in just a tad bit more. And I pretty much stay at this zoom. I am using the B700 Nikon camera for this. Yes, there is some distortion out there. It's not me not being able to focus on it. It is distortion, and anybody with a camera knows that you cannot focus on distortion. So shut up, trolls, about being out of focus. right here you can find a concave mirror. Will explain this perfectly. The water is in the atmosphere creates a concave effect. And also the light propagating. Makes it look like two objects. Three objects now. Dang, man, this is going to inspire me to dig out that little experiment I was doing with my concave mirror, or do another one. Also, Richard Aubin did a computer graphic thing that kind of showed this too. Which one is a real object? Yeah, 10 and a half minutes to film this. And I'm going to just let it sit on it. Because I think there's interesting effects. This is even out further than the pontoon boat, the orange boat I was tracking. Does it reflect refraction or reflection? If you ask me, it's reflection. And also is, which is the real boat, which is the actual boat, which is the actual object. Is that object being projected forward toward me due to a concave mirror? Or is the lower one the actual object? Let's see if I, oh, I don't think adjust the focus because I got it on infinity. Here's where things get real interesting, folks, and this is where I think about, is that bottom boat being magnified or lensed while the real actual boat is at the top, and these are just layers, just like my mirror experiment showed, because you watch and everything will start blending in together, and when you see this boat, when everything gets blended in, it is, and it does appear to be much smaller and further out there than that bottom boat does. So again, will the real boat please stand out? Look at the wake that the boats are making.
multiple layers of reflection.
Okay, I had to add this picture in again so people don't forget what this video is about. It's about, this Fata Morgana and how we perceive things. Which is the real boat when you finish watching this video? Which one is the real?
No one is. He's like zigzagging coming back in. Wow, this is wild. I wish I would have brought my P1000. I don't know. This P700 works perfect. Don't give me too much zoom. The ocean is not flat. It's coming in through waves.
Now, when you look at the size of this boat, you see it isn't as big as when it first started out. It looks more like it's farther out there. And that's what I was saying. Which is the real boat? When they all blended together, everything seemed to go to like a proper size, possibly, instead of being magnified or lensed. And these are the things that I feel like science just overlooks and doesn't actually tell us exactly what's going on. And geez, these bells I got in this room are gonna kill me. I'm gonna have to shut them off when I'm making videos. Now I sped this part up twice as fast because I did want to make this a little bit shorter. There's some objects in the background that you'll see. Keep an eye on those too because it's still interesting footage. But again, I wanted to kind of not make this video an hour and a half long. I realize how some people will get uninterested in it, but there's some things that I'll try to bring up. Right there, that marker is not a bird rack. It is just a marker with a red light on it. It's about the halfway marker to the Bayport rack. And I'll tell you, Curious Life used some of my footage a long time ago that I took, where you can see that the boats that was even closer than this one was being mirrored out, and that halfway marker was actually in the mirroring zone, and it just causes all kinds of effects out there when you have heavy mirroring or miraging, if you will. um, but these are the optical illusions that, you know, really confuse people, if you ask me. Again, um, another long bit of footage that I sped up twice. The whole purpose of this is really to get you to think, not to believe me, because I'm mainly just an observer. I'm a dumb flat tard with a magical camera that apparently can see around corners and curves, or the curvature of Earth. Um, so again, be your own critical thinker. Think for yourself. I'm not out here to make you think otherwise. I am a flat earther. I will admit it. But um, again, my observations, I really wanted for everybody. But when a globe person comes on my channel, all I ever get is major insults. There's been a few that have talked to me nicely, but their problem is they make these subtle insults that just really started get to me when I started looking at these subtle insults that they were making, like I'm uneducated, I don't have as much education as them, I'm not as smart as them. Right there, there's a farther boat in the background, like the gorilla in the mist. Um, you see the boat there. Again, it was a very hazy day. Also, the sun was being blocked by the clouds that were in the sky. Obviously, you've seen that when I zoomed back and showed you the sky. Um, Not a lot of sunlight was coming through, causing major issues with mirroring. That's why you don't see really the mirroring so much on the water as you did when this boat was doing I would say it was almost doing a quadruple or a triple Fata Morgana. Um, so again, my videos are out there for people to learn by, not for people to, um, call me names, um, make up stuff, about my intelligence, about my education. People don't know me. Um, I share these out of the kindness of my heart. They were really kind of my own personal observations that I was doing, but I I was originally a Glober, saying, man, this should be easily uh, able to go out there and prove that a man standing 6 foot tall could see the curvature. Unfortunately, I've been able to see uh, 11.22 miles at 28 inches, and visual proof stands out over what some overly educated scientist is going to tell me that what he read out of a textbook is truth, and what I'm getting is stupidity, or I'm just too stupid to understand what refraction is. Well, they can kiss my butt. There's Bayport Rack right there. And again, this boat is getting much, much closer to me. I'm at Bayport, standing on a seawall. My tripod is at 28 inches, and I will show you that footage too. The water is down about 4 feet from the seawall. Hate to have to add the transitions in, but it's something that you got to do. Otherwise, uh, it kind of looks all jammed up. You can see way back there. You can see how far I'm seeing out there. I'm seeing well over the 3 miles that science tells me I'm gonna be able to see. That's pretty obvious, and that's one of the things too. You can see the other racks back there too. You could see the Hernando Beach turn light rack, which is approximately, well, I think it's 5-6 miles away. But I'm going to get out my map. Again, if YouTube don't destroy us, I'm going to get out my maps and do some measurements on it and show people that, you know, these distances are what I'm claiming them to be. So again, hopefully you can learn something from this. Hang on, I got something else to show.
Okay, here's my camera showing them passing that halfway marker. Here's my camera sitting on the seawall, and the water's down about 3-4 feet. I'd say more like 3-3.5. And I need to find this boat again here.
Alright, people, I just don't go around telling you to believe me. I just tell you, look at my observations. I really do think that they speak for themselves. I've got some really cool pictures I'm going to share in my next video. Some that I've done that really I can prove my camera height and everything else. So be ready for another one of my flat tard